What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 526th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. The three of us are back. Greg is back. Will is back. Greg first, I guess.
I am back, and I have an actual TCG story for Pokemon because I actually played the Pokemon TCG while at Gen Con.
We do have TCG
story
news.
And everything. So you let me know when you want me to come in with my story. It's a story of power. It's a story of despair. It's got highs. It's got lows.
Is it about drive?
Oh, yeah.
Is it about power?
I've got some very brief sad news if you'd just like me to get mine out of the way, and then you can go into your happy TCG tale.
Sure.
I want to say about 7 years ago, about at the beginning of the Pokemon Super Effective podcast Slack communities, about 2015 years, a few friends decided to come together to form a special society that was known at the time and has been known throughout as the Zigzag Swag Club.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a club for people who had captured or bred a shiny Zigzagoon. And, you didn't evolve it because if you evolved it, you became a Lanoon Goon. You were kicked out of the club. But it was a special place, and I'm here to announce today that the Zigzag Swag Club is over, because when everybody can have a shiny Zigzagoon, there's no need for a club anymore. So
everyone in a 3-hour window.
It was
everybody in a 3-hour window.
But I caught 12 of them. I can distribute freely. Yeah, no.
I mean, this is the equality that we want for. We don't need your Elks Club nonsense in this world.
That's fine. Go on. All right. That's my stuff is out of the way. Greg,
we have a lot of Pokemon news. The Pokemon World. Well, I guess we'll start. I guess the Pokemon World Championships is this upcoming weekend. I will be there. I apparently I didn't get the memo. People are traveling this weekend to go. I guess I'm doing travel wrong. I always think you get there the day before the event, and then you add extra days after. It seems like it's the other way, where people add extra days before the event, but I feel like the traveling immediately after the event is where everyone is doing, and that's why you add the extra days after, because then you have to deal with the airport issue of everyone trying to.
But if you add the days before, you deal with your jet lag, so you're bright and sprightly when the actual event comes.
Oh, see, I don't have that problem.
Yeah, you do. No, you don't have that problem because
because my sleep schedule. Yeah.
Your sleep schedule is a nightmare. You are up until 4, and then you'll text me, and you're like, "Why aren't you up?" And I'm like, "I'm a normal human, and I'm dead during those times."
Yeah, but when I'm up till 4, then I can at least say good morning to Will before I go to bed.
Basically, we can have a little text exchange when I first
wake up.
I
don't have jet lag is I get on everybody else's normal schedule, and mine is still a hot mess.
Yes. I plan to do what I always do when I international travel, which is don't go to bed, stay up until the flight, sleep on flight, land at 8 a.m. I'm ready to go. I already slept.
I also can't sleep on airplanes because no matter the size of the seat, I'm still too big for it.
I crash on airplanes in a hot minute.
I am bummed because the full disclosure, the Pokemon Company is paid for my hotel at the World Championships. I did pay. I did pay for my flight. But they offered to pay for the hotel. There's they're doing a dinner or something, like a Pokemon creator dinner on Wednesday. I guess I'm missing that. That's okay though. But I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I do get in on Thursday morning, so I don't know if I'll get to the venue in time for whatever the opening ceremony is, but I don't expect it to be.
You're risking selling out of a very vital item.
No,
because you're not getting there on time. And I'm very stressed about this.
I will get you the Roselia. I promise.
Oh, wait, Greg, have you not been to a Worlds before?
No.
Okay, so the way that the store at Worlds works is for the first day, it is only open to competitors.
Yes.
Official competitors.
Oh, okay. Well, if they're sold out, you're gonna have to go beat up an official competitor for me. Because look,
the plushes are usually not the thing that. The plushes aren't the thing that sells out. It's usually if they have a backpack that usually sells out. And then like mats. the dice stuff sells out usually, but not normally until like Saturday. We're fine. I'm getting there. We'll get there. This will be the first thing I do, Greg. I will get you the plush.
I'm all sweaty about this.
I'll get you the plush. I will be in London. Irene will be there too with me. So if you're in London, if you're at Worlds, feel free to come up and say hi. It's literally why I'm there. I'll try to be live streaming. There's supposed to be that Pokemon Go thing. I guess we'll get to it when we get. There's like Pikachu that they're spawning. So I'll be there. I don't come back until Wednesday, so I'll be gone for a full week. But I am bringing my backpack, so we'll try to figure out live streaming situations there. But we'll be at Worlds. Speaking of Worlds, this is off Pokemon.com. Receive Victini and Sinistea during the 2022 Pokemon World Championships. Enjoy tea time and victory by adding these special Pokemon to your Pokemon Sword and Shield games. Get Sinistea in London this August at the World Championships. All Pokemon World Championship attendees can receive a special Sinistea holding Moo Moo Milk. And it will know the unique event move Celebrate. If you're attending the World Championships from the 18th to the 21st, you want to enjoy tea time with Sinistea. Remember to bring your Nintendo Switch and your copy of Pokemon Sword or Pokemon Shield. You can only receive one Sinistea per game. Look for signs at the World Championship to just see how they would distribute that. They have this at the other world. They just have a big sign saying like connect a mystery gift. You just have to be like within the vicinity of the venue to redeem it. If you're not attending the World Championship, fear not. That's their words, not mine. Online viewers will be able to receive the victory Pokemon Victini by catching the live stream and redeeming a password that will be revealed during the broadcast from the 18th to the 21st. Keep your Nintendo Switch and your copy of Pokemon Sword and Shield handy. Enter the password when it's showed on stream to add this fiery mythical Pokemon to your team. You can receive one Victini per game. This password will be available until August 21st.
So once it's revealed, it hits Twitter, hits Cerebi, and you just do it then.
Basically, yes.
Correct. Right? And I will, like always, make a graphic that I'll post on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff.
I'm gonna go to my real news website.
But they don't specify whether it's an authentic Sinistea or what's the other one? The not authentic one called?
Phony.
Is it really?
Cheap knockoff.
How
it's called
rude.
It is called phony, yeah.
That's awful.
I think it's not technically called authentic. I think it's called antique, and then I think the other one's called phony.
Oh, the poor Sinistea. It's a real Sinistea.
It went to the wrong cup.
I'm gonna assume that it's antique.
I would not make that assumption. I thought they were going to say it's going to finally know the special move Scald. Because it is still wild to me that a cup of tea does not know Scald.
It would make it too powerful.
True.
How?
The type coverage that it would get. Celebrate's cool.
I mean, Celebrate's fine. I have like a number of Celebrates somewhere in my mini collections.
Celebrate the 2022 Pokemon World Championships in Pokemon Go. Obviously, the World Championships will take place from the 18th to the 21st in London, England at the Excel Center. The top qualifying Pokemon Go players around the world to determine who will be crowned will get an exclusive in-game World Championship outfit and pose. I think that's actually really cool for those players that end up winning. So you can win Unite, you can win the VGC, the TCG, Pokemon Go. I'm assuming that would be the same for the 5 people playing Pokken tournament. They got
yeah.
But they get this cool outfit that's like them holding the trophy and they spin. So I don't know what I would assume for the Pokemon Go players, very, very great. I don't know if there's a huge crossover of like VGC players that they're probably somebody who wins the VGC or TCG tournament who also is a big Go player then can flex that in raids. I would hope or assume that that's the case. I feel like if there's any crossover Pokemon game that I feel like everyone plays, it's probably Go. It's like the easiest to pick up and play.
I would agree.
You'll be able to watch all of these matches on the Pokemon Go Twitch channel / Pokemon channel / Pokemon TCG channel. There will be 2 new in-game avatar items available for commemoration of the 2022 World Championships. There is a World T available globally via a code that will be shared during... They really want people to watch these streams. They're sharing codes left and right. There will be a code shared during the World Championship stream. The code will be distributed on the official Pokemon Go media channel shortly after. Code is valid until August 22nd. That is the blue t-shirt that you'll be able to get.
The better of the 2 t-shirts.
And then if you're a participant, available from Pokestops located at the Pokemon Go booth in the World Championships. So if you visit a Pokestop in London at the World Championships, I'm assuming you just have to spin it, because that's what it says, visit Pokestop. You will get a red tee. Which I think is the second time they did this. The first time they did this was that North Face thing where you had to go to a North Face store to spin. And then at least on Twitter, people were like, there are no North Face. I can't get to it. I considered driving. I think I was in Milwaukee at the time, and I considered driving to Chicago to spin a Pokestop to get a shirt that I really didn't care about that much.
I believe there was one about 3 miles south of me, and I still didn't bother to go.
But then at a certain point, they gave the shirts to like everyone. It was just a code you had to enter. So the North Face one wasn't that big of a deal. But they're doing it again. If you're there in the London area, you can reach the Pokemon Go booth. You spin it. You should get a red shirt, slightly different than the blue shirt. Blue shirt should be available to everyone, but you will have to enter a code. I'll make a graphic and post that on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff too. From Thursday to Tuesday, so Thursday the 18th, Tuesday the 23rd, Pokemon Go is celebrating the World Championship. Boy, they're really repeating this a lot. There will be a special 2022 World Championship Pikachu available in raids, field research, and timed research. Doesn't say the wild. Does have a chance to be shiny. Challengers with Pokemon teams inspired by the ones used by trainers who won Pokemon Go regional championships will appear at Pokestops. You can increase your amount of Go Battle League sets from 5 to 10 for a total of 50 battles per day. Used to be 25. You'll get 3 times the Stardust from winning Go Battle League. There will be timed research available, which will include the following: the World Championship 2022 Pikachu and an Elite Fast TM, the Elite Charge TM. These are the TMs they usually charge for community boxes, the scam boxes. Nidoran, Mankey, Machop, Mudkip, Sableye, Meditite, Swablu, Spheal, Krogunk, Jupiter are all available in the wild during this event. These are all Pokemon, well, maybe the exception of Mankey, that are pretty okay competitively. I shouldn't say pretty okay, like Mudkip, Sableye, Meditite, Swablu, Spheal, Jupiter, like those are all really, really good competitively.
Well,
aren't they based off people who use them in Go Battle League? Isn't that what you just said?
These are the ones available. No, the trainers will be the trainers based off the people who won regionals in Go Battle League.
Oh, okay. See,
But maybe
I'm
Primeape is,
I'm assuming a Primeape probably won something, but like at least from the recent tournaments I've watched, I've never seen a Primeape. I've seen all the other ones. But I'm assuming Primeape probably won something. 1-star raids will be the World Championship Pikachu, Galarian, Farfetch, Marill, Barboach, Timber, Scraggy. 3-star will be Primate, Lickitung, Skarmory. Lickitung and Skarmory I know are very good for GBL. 5-star raids will be Zashi and Zamazenta. Cannot be shiny, by the way. And then Mega raids will be Mega Slowbro. And there will be some new avatar items in the shop during this event as well. I am wondering, because we talked about this before, at the last World Championships, which was in DC, where they put Relicanth and Aerodactyl in field research that came from Pokestops that you spun by just being in the area. I wonder if there will be an increase of that will just get you Pikachu in that area, because they're not really saying anything else. But they're not saying Pikachu is spawning in the wild. They're saying field research raids and timed research, which is that do the task stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that's how people in the area will have a better chance of getting shiny Pikachu. Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. The other bit of Pokemon World's news is that this came out of nowhere. This is off Pokemon.com. Pokemon The Arceus Chronicles will be available on Netflix. Adventure with Ash, Pikachu, Go, and Dawn as they aid the mythical Pokemon Arceus. The upcoming special is set to premiere before a live audience at the 2022 Pokemon World Championships in London. It will be available to stream on Netflix on September 23rd. When Ash and friends receive a mysterious message from the mythical Pokemon Arceus, they meet up with their old friends Brock and head out to Mount Coronet to investigate. They find a rampaging Heatran and a group responsible Team Galactic, previously thought to be dismantled. The team's commander is determined to find the missing leader by opening the gate between dimensions. With a trio of legendary Pokemon and Sinnoh champion Cynthia by their side, our heroes will have a lot of help, but can they get through to save Sinnoh? Did they say how many episodes this was?
It can't be a lot.
I mean, it's got to be like 3, right? 3 half an hour to make a 90-minute movie, because it sounds like a movie that was chopped up into episodes. Yeah.
Yes, which is a very Netflix thing.
Absolutely.
I watched a whole movie on HBO Max, and that same movie is now on Netflix as a TV show. They just broke it into 3 episodes, and I was like, I get why they did that, but like also it's a movie.
What movie?
It was about Woodstock 90 the bad Woodstock.
Oh, the bad Woodstock.
The edge
90s.
Yes,
the 90s Woodstock.
Yes, it talked about
the
why
90s was just a bad decade.
No. There were 2 90s Woodstocks. The first one was good. The second one was bad.
The one with Limp Bizkit, that's the bad one.
Yeah, the one without the water, where they ran out of water.
Correct. Yes. And I thought it was a great documentary, and then I saw it on Netflix, and I was like, didn't I see this on HBO? And then I clicked on it. I was like, why is this 3 episodes? And then I looked, and I was like, I watched this. This is a movie.
Yeah, it was like.
How does the Fire Festival compare to the bad Woodstock?
Well, the bad Woodstock
I saw that documentary too,
where the Fire Festival didn't actually happen.
Yes.
But weren't more people put out by the Fire Festival? Like, did they get stranded? That whole thing.
Look, let's not get into my whole social commentary about what the Fire Festival meant, because TikTok's not long enough for that.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. It does sound like a movie that they... Oh, it's 4 parts. 4.
Yeah, but that's right, because it's like an episode is usually 23 to 24 minutes, so then that comes to about 92 minutes total. My thing is, when I saw, because they felt the need to email me to let me know.
Sure, yeah.
They won't email you codes, but they'll tell you about a special coming up.
Emailed me directly to let me know that this show was coming out. And it looked like in the preview that they changed their clothes. So it's like, my suspicion is this is like a Legends Arceus tie-in, and they're going to get transported to the past.
Oh yeah, it's very like we're going into the past to whatever.
I'm just happy that they're bringing back one of my favorite characters, May.
No, they said Dawn, not May.
Dawn. I'm sorry.
Oh boy, you heard it here, everybody. You're gonna send your Dawn and May the same character angry tweets.
My brain was thinking one thing and my mouth said something else. Come on,
we put up with
Steve every week. I make one mistake in 10 years, and you're like all over me. Wow.
One mistake.
All it takes is one opening.
Kind of Worlds related, because if you're going to Worlds, you'll be able to play with these cards early, because they'll have like a pre-release set. But this is off Pokemon.com. Hisuian, Zoroark, V Star, and more in Pokemon TCG Sword and Shield Lost Origin. Lost Origin will release on September 9th, and it will feature over 190 cards, which is a lot. There's an Aerodactyl V-Star, there's a Kingdra, there's a Mirage Gate, there's a Snorlax with pretty good art. This is very Hisuian, a very Hisuian set. We've gotten obviously Hisuian cards before, but they're going in even more. If you thought they went in, they're going in more.
Oh boy, you were wrong. They're doing it bigger now. At Worlds, do they have the option for you to go do drafts and stuff? Like, do they run events there?
Oh yeah,
they run a bunch of events. There's a bunch of Sword and Shield events too. Like there's like a Topsy Curvy Turvy tournament where you play VGC, but you have to hold your Switch upside down.
Interesting. Okay, so the judges' comments make more sense. Gen Con, I was very confused, but that makes more sense.
Yeah, they have a bunch of like silly tournaments and fun tournaments and retro tournaments and
normal tournaments. They do have normal tournaments, draft, VGC, things like that.
At every Worlds, they always do have a pre-release of the new set, so you'll be able to do like the battle box, which I think is, gosh, how much is a battle box now? 35, I think, which is you get like a pre-constructed deck, and then you get like 6 boosters. And then you open the boosters, and then you customize your deck, and then you play usually like 3 rounds against somebody. And then if you win, you get like 2 extra boosters or whatever, just for like winning. If you don't win, I mean, like you still paid for 6 boosters. You keep all that stuff.
Yeah.
When you're done.
Yeah, I love and hate the battle box. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna do my story now because we're talking about it.
Yes.
So they should have max raid battles as well which is what I did at Gen Con. So max raid
battle
is where up to 5 people take on a big Pokemon.
I thought it was 4.
Well, look, a lot of people signed up, so we had 5.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of this whole situation. So a little like clarification.
This is like TCG.
This is TCG max raid battles. So
which we talked about like 8 months ago, maybe a year ago, that it was a print and play off Pokemon.com that you could do.
Yeah. So the max raid battle is normally 4. We had 5 at our table. The whole thing was wild. So thanks to everybody who had me build the deck, who sent me things. I didn't use anybody's decks as is because apparently it had to be standard. Like it had to be playable in standard. So I had to pick certain like cards that have a D, E, and an F on them.
Yeah, standard legal. Yeah,
it has to be legal.
People sending you expanded stuff?
Yeah, people were sending me all sorts of stuff. So I put together a deck, and I brought it. So I had my own deck. So I signed up for this max raid battle thing because I'm like, I kind of want to. it'd be a good thing for me to learn how to play the game because I have other people there who are supposed to help me teach how to play this game because I kind of remember, but I don't play it that often. So there were 5 of us. There were myself, my friend Junie, who used to be a former Pokemon professor who doesn't run the TCG anymore. This cute 20-something couple, and an 8-year-old. And the 8-year-old's where things went off the rails a little bit because you could bring your own decks from home. So 3 of us had decks. The 8-year-old had their deck and presented it to the judge, and the judge pulled it out and looked at it and said, I have to count all these cards. So he counts all the cards and he says, okay, well, you have 80. You can only have 60. Okay. So you can't use this deck. But they have event decks. So my friend Junie got the Blastoise deck and they gave the 8-year-old the Lycanroc deck. So what's interesting about Max Raid battles, since
wait. Where did this kid come from? Was like parent playing with you?
His parent, they just dropped him off and they're like, good, he's got a babysitter for an hour and a half.
You know Pokemon League, how parents do? Drop their kids for 3 hours while they do their own thing?
So he's next to Junie, who's a dad, thankfully, and the judge, who is used to kids, because I'm like, I am not dealing with this. This is already a nightmare scenario. So for Max Raid battles is all 5 of us take our turn at the same time. So we all set up and we all put things out and we all get prepared. And what's interesting is normally in the game you can only play 1 supporter
per turn.
But how it works is since we had 5 people, we could play up to 5 supporters. Didn't matter where they came from. So if I had 3 good supporters, I could play 3 supporters. And you didn't have to play them on yourself. You could play them on other people.
But as a group, you were limited to 5 supporters.
Yes, but as a group, of course, you had to talk about what was advantageous, which is great when you have 4 adults. It falls apart when you have an 8-year-old who screams, I have a supporter, and slams it down and does the action on themselves. And then everybody's like, well, that's 1 used. What other 4? I got another one. Slime. Like, oh.
I love kids.
Oh, boy.
Love them.
Oh, boy. So thankfully, the judge was really helping the kid because the kid also got a deck that he'd never seen before. And he's like, okay, well, you need to bring this up and you need to do this. So that was handled. So what happens is he brought out 3 cards. He's like, okay, you get to randomly pick who your
judge is being the like Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
Or the
so
whatever
judge is being the boss.
What are we fighting? Are we fighting a Pikachu?
So he says, okay, we'll randomly pick. I don't know what the other 2 are. So I randomly picked for the group. And so we were fighting Espeon GX.
Okay.
And what's interesting about the way the game works is the boss doesn't have any health. The only way you win is by milling out the boss's deck so that on their turn, they can't pull another card. And so the boss has a deck of 40 cards and all energy gets attached immediately. And the boss has no hand size. Pulls, plays, pulls, plays, pulls, plays. And the only way to mill cards is for every 30 damage you manage to get stuck on the boss, a card gets exiled or put into the lost zone for each 30 points of damage that's done. The problem with this format is once all the energy of his deck was attached, it was just supporter chains. And so you just set one of his turn took half an hour as he went through the chain of supporter actions as he played them out. He's like, okay, I have to draw 7 cards. Okay, so now I have 7 cards. I have to play this down. Okay, this makes me draw 3 cards. I draw 3 more cards. Okay, so now I have to play these because he's not allowed to have a hand. And so literally at one point, a bunch of us left. We're like, well, this is taking half an hour. So we're going to go use the restroom. We're going to go get something to eat and come back, and maybe his turn will be done.
Wow.
Because one turn of the boss took forever. So anyways, first turn, I've picked, we did the whole thing. I have Rosalia out. Everybody has the thing. I have Rowlet in the back. So does the damage, would cause confusion, but I have Aroma, the Aroma grass card that stops special conditions. So I'm the only person that's not confused at the table. And then I have a rare candy because I don't have any Dartrix in my deck. So I evolve my Rowlet to the newest Decidueye. And the ability on Decidueye is Deep Forest Camo, which prevents all damage done by V and GX Pokemon. And so I put it down and I looked at the judge and I said, am I reading this correctly? And he's like, oh, yep, I can't hurt you. And the only way we can lose is when your Pokemon gets knocked out, you pick one of your prizes. And if everybody at the table picks up all of their prizes, so if everybody goes through 6 Pokemon, we all lose. But at that point, it's like, well, I can't ever get knocked out. You can't hurt me. All of your attacks, because it's from Beyond GX, do nothing. There's one attack that says place 10 damage counters. So you had to put 100 damage on one of your Pokemon you got to pick. So I just loaded my bench up with things with high health. And when that randomly came up, I would just move them. And I just sat there doing 90 damage. I just had a handful of cards, and he'd look at me. He's like, okay, so what are you doing? I'm like, well, you know what I'm doing. I've been doing it for the last 2 hours. I'm doing 90 damage.
How long did this game take?
It took 2.5 hours.
That is called not fun.
So,
did you have fun?
I had a great time. Once the snowball started, because once you finally force it to discard the healing items out of its deck, then the turns just flew, because it was like I'm pulling cards, but nothing's helping. So once we got past the snowball part, it was super fun. And it was also super fun to, if you have a good group, like 4 of us were talking about which supporters we would use on each other, which Pokemon we're needing, what can we do to help, because there's no bench Pokemon for the boss. So boss's orders is on another player. So everybody was like confused at the table. So I'm like, okay, well, I will use boss's orders on you, force yours back to the bench. It will stop being confused. Then you can move it up, or we can do this. So it was really interesting, fun strategy that way. But I was like, thanks to everybody who helped me build this deck, because I was absolutely I was always doing 90. I'm like, I can get rid of 3 cards every turn on my turn because it can't hurt me back. I'm just sitting here doing stuff. And then I went with Hisuian Lilligant. So I had the V-Star ability, so I could search my deck for energy. So I just set myself up, and I'm like, we're going to win. The biggest problem was trying to convince the kid. So at the last turn, we're like, if we all pass, we win. There's 1 card. He has to take 5 turns. There's 1 card. So he draws once and then cannot draw anymore. We win. So we're all like, we're passing. And the 8-year goes, never pass. I'm playing on. And we're like, nope. No, you're not.
Oh,
we're not. No. We said, if you do nothing, we win the game. And then he looked at his mom, and his mom's like, he's like, okay, and then we won. But if you can, like, if you have a deck, so what the judge said is the format is set up for tournaments where people are bringing competitive decks, so it goes really fast. They're trying to balance it for places like Gen Con, where they give pre-constructed decks that aren't optimized in any way.
Right.
So for us, it took a really long time because most of us didn't have optimized decks that could have great supporters and are moving things around and are changing the stadiums around and doing all these things or blocking things from happening. So it did take a while. I mean, I had a great time. They do it at all these things. So like if you want a different format and a competitive sort of way of playing, definitely do it. I had a great time. Thanks to everybody who helped me build this deck. I was the MVP at the table because nothing could touch me.
I feel like your story gave me two feelings. One is the main reason I stopped running a Pokemon League, not because kids are bad, it's because parents are bad.
Correct,
I am not
correct.
here to babysit your child.
Yep.
I am here to make sure games are going smoothly and people have their questions answered, and there is a safe space for people to come and play Pokemon. This is not a daycare. So that was the first level of anxiety I've had when you told your story. The second is just playing with a stranger and not necessarily like a kid, but I feel like if you knew all 5 people in your group, that experience probably would have been significantly better versus like,
oh yeah,
I have no clue who these 2 people are,
Yep.
and they're kind of ruining the mood.
Yeah.
I mean, we were lucky. The other 2 were great. The kid, I mean, we knew we were in trouble. Like, you see my headphones here. He showed up to the table wearing these, and he never took them off. So already in a loud space, trying to communicate to the child was tough because half the time he was just like in his own world, which was fine. I think it's a super fun format. Great if you know all 4 people, it would be a blast. If you had competitive decks, it would take way less time than it took ours. But even then, we all had a great time, because we're all talking to each other. We're all seeing what our decks can do. We're all seeing what Pokemon we bring out. We're all talking about what's like, I have this supporter. What's the best use for the supporter? It was super fun in that way. And since I don't play the TCG hardly at all, I was like, I'm actually having a really good, I can really do nothing but help everybody out because I can't get knocked out. So I'm just here to support everybody else, was like my ideal role in most sort of play games where we're all working together. I'll be here to support everybody. But I had a great time. Thanks to everybody again for the deck suggestions. I built a fun deck. I had a good time there. I would definitely do it again. It cost $6, but I got 3 tickets, so I got a hat. I got $6 worth of hat back. Super fun. I would even say, if you're going to Worlds and you're looking for something just to I want to sort of play this game, but I don't know how to build or craft a deck for a draft, look into Max Raid Battles, because it's a very helpful team-based event that takes a lot of the stress out of it. You're just there to have a good time fighting against the judge and whatever. I know one of the other ones is Mewtwo. We saw that one. I don't know what the third was. Probably a Pikachu.
Cool. All right. Well, we got some more Pokemon news. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get that covered. And we are back from our break. There was a new Wild Area event. I don't know if it's because Sword and Shield is almost 3 years old, or if they were 3 days is not enough, so let's make these events 10 days now. But this is the second time, because the Merrill event was 10 days. But
yeah, I think they understand it's people aren't necessarily paying attention, so we need to get the word out and let people figure it out and then get on.
Yeah, so there's a Grimmsnarl event happening right now in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Grimmsnarl is a very, very good competitive Pokemon, and so I would assume the reason that Grimmsnarl was picked, Marill was picked because it was Water Week or whatever.
Yeah,
is because it does overlap into the World Championships. So I think that wasn't a coincidence that it was Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl easily top 10 competitive Pokemon throughout Sword and Shield. It started on Thursday. It will run until, hold on, where's the date here? August 21st. So that is the last day of Worlds. And yeah, I did expect them to run a max raid event during Worlds, because of course, why would they not? They love to put everything on the same exact weekend. But them starting this a little bit early and doing that 10 days, it is great. I wish we could be saying that 2 years ago. I wish we
No, we can't.
But yeah, Grimmsnarls and Raids, there's a 2% chance for a shiny one. It is 2% shiny chance in 5-star raids. I did make a helpful infographic on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff to check that out. Not the best odds, because normally in a 5-star raid, sometimes there's other Pokemon, so you can just ignore all those other Pokemon. In this case, since all the 5-star promoted are Grimmsnarl, you have to check all of them to see if they're shiny or not. But still, it was fun to go back, because I missed the last couple raid events either because of travel, short time, already had that Pokemon. It was fun to go back this past weekend and just do some raids with people. And yeah, I ended up getting a shiny on the first, hour of checking dens, and it's still going as of this recording. So that's up. Go get your Grimmsnarl. It's a good shiny too.
Yes, I got a shiny Grim Adamant Nature Prankster. I'm set. I'm going to Worlds. I didn't tell Steve. I'm flying. I'm last minute qualifier. I got the last piece of the puzzle. And I'm going to sweep.
It is a very physical Pokemon. Most people are not running, the attack part of Grimmsnarl, but
yeah, they'll never see it coming, will they?
That's true.
They're all like, it's going to set up shields. Oh my gosh, it's murdering us. What is happening?
That's
and
the
I
secret.
will be the Pikachu of the whole thing. They'll be like, oh, you remember that electric squirrel thing that happened? Nothing compared to this.
It was
Not
Pikachu.
You're hitting them with those spirit breaks left and right.
They'll just never see it coming.
It was follow the finger.
It was follow me.
Not
yes.
what it's called in English. It's just follow me in English.
Follow me.
It?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's happening right now in Sword and Shield. There is a new Build-A-Bear promotion, which Will and I saw as we did Community Day together. There is a Build-A-Bear 25th anniversary Pikachu plush. It's to celebrate Build-A-Bear's 25th anniversary. I was going to say.
Yeah. I think we discussed this one week when you were out.
Oh, okay. So that is available. And they did have them at Build-A-Bear. They were there. We saw them. I would recommend no one shop at Build-A-Bear on a Saturday.
There was a line out the door.
Yeah.
I will say the non-winking one, which is the red one, I think is the better one. Definitely.
Oh, you don't like the
purple.
wink?
I didn't like the wink, nah.
This is too forward for you? You're like, well, I like
no,
my Pikachu's
but it's
more
the
standoffish.
concept to me of like, if my stuffed creature has a permanent facial expression, it's like for all eternity, you can only see out of one eye.
Yeah.
No, I did.
Maybe it only can see out of one eye. It has to close the other one to see you better.
That's okay, but if I have the ability to choose which one to bring to life, I'm going to bring the one that's staring at me with two cold, dead, empty eyes.
Sure, that makes sense. A collaboration years in the making, I'm sure. No one saw it coming. Pokemon.com, Billionaire Boys Club, and Pokemon Collection now available. The BBC, as it's short for. Billionaire Boys Club celebrates the legacy of Pokemon with a capsule collection founded by Pharrell Williams. BBC Ice Cream is a clothing and accessory brand that has influenced countless pockets of fashion. Their words, not mine. They have also influenced music, design, and culture. The Billionaire Boy Club / Pokemon Capsule Collection is now available for purchase at BBC flagship stores across the U.S., Europe, Japan, Hong Kong, and online, starting on August 12th. I will say, as we're reading this, their collection sold out in about 15 minutes online.
How come we don't have one of these at the Mall of America?
Yeah, that's a good question.
The only two in the United States, I believe, are in...
Looks like New York and Miami.
Yes, New York and Miami. I was going to say Orlando, and I was like, no, it's like the big cities very south of Florida.
Until this moment. Until this collaboration happened, I had never heard of Billionaire Boys Club.
I looked it up. It started, I think, 13 years ago by Pharrell Williams. I know who I know who Pharrell Williams is.
Is he one of them get happy singers?
Yes. I will also say, not to judge anyone.
He's done so much more.
I'm just going to put this out here. He's not a billionaire. His net worth is $250 million.
Oh, now you're just pulling out receipts left and right. Look.
Well, you know what? If that's true.
Don't be aspirational. Be real.
It could have been called Millionaire Boys Club. But
nobody wants to be a millionaire anymore.
But of all people in this world who should be billionaires, I think Pharrell deserves to be a billionaire. The man, through work, brings joy and pleasure to so many people for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's been in the business for over 20 years.
Give Pharrell most of Jeff Bezos' money. Jeff Bezos brings joy to nobody.
Jeff Bezos does nothing except steal other people's stuff and take credit for it.
Correct. Give it to Pharrell. That's our new hashtag. Give it to Pharrell.
Yes.
The collection included, I'll say included because it's sold out.
It's gone, baby.
A reverse knit Pikachu sweater. Okay.
I'll make you one of those.
Let me stop here. I will say the Pikachu sweater was probably one of the better things they offered. Not because it was reversible. I think it's a really bad reversible sweater. I think it's bad. But that Pikachu sweater was also like $160. A Pikachu hoodie, a Flying Bee Pokemon tee, Mewtwo BBC Arch logo, a Starfield Pikachu tote bag, and a Pokemon rug. It wasn't, I mean, when they say capsule, it's like a small set. It was pretty small.
It's 7 items.
No, I'm sorry. The hoodie with the standard Pikachu fighting PNG that they used, which, to be fair, they have to get approval from the Pokemon Company for designs and stuff, was $160. The reversible sweater, not hoodie, no hood. The reversible sweater was $275.
I'll make you one. Don't worry about it.
And it looks good until you reverse it, then it looks bad.
What do you mean then it looks bad?
What? It looks like it looks terrible.
It didn't look good to begin with.
No, they both look fine.
No, because it's just a giant Pikachu head and then some Japanese text on an all-black sweater. And then when you reverse it, you just get this weird yellowish color on the body, but then you still get a black neckline, black sleeves, and then you see the obvious seams that connect the sleeves to the body. And that in itself makes it look bad.
It's called fashion.
When I knit it for you, there will be no seams because I know how to knit without seams. So mine will cost you $500.
I think the Pikachu on the tote bag looked good.
The best product is the tote bag.
Yes. And I wish they put that on a shirt.
Yeah.
Although I'm still under like the mindset that t-shirts are like $20, but in reality in the last like 5 years t-shirts have crept up to like $25, and then like designer t-shirts are like
they've crept up to 30.
You think they're 30 now?
Oh, they are 30 now.
We were just at Hot Topic. We should have checked t-shirt prices.
Yeah, but they didn't have any t-shirts we wanted.
That's true. They had like no Pokemon stuff at Hot Topic. No longer hot. No longer a topic.
But we did go over to Box Lunch and almost bought a slow cooker.
They did have the Pokemon slow cooker.
Yes. The Pokemon slow cooker.
Why is
was
there
pure
not
fire.
A Pokemon rice maker? If there was a Pokemon rice maker, I would have snapped that up so fast.
In a heartbeat. Take it home. It can look like any of the Pokemon. Let me put rice in your mouth and get hot rice out.
I want to say it's very often I come on this program and say that I'm wrong. Because I'm almost never wrong.
Oh boy.
But I want to come on this show and say I was wrong about emblems in Pokemon Unite. They're pretty good.
Vindication!
They're
I
good
said
in the
to you,
sense. Okay, but
you
but
look
they
at, you
are.
look me in the eye.
Greg, you said that they were
eye.
bad. You said they were ruining the game.
I did not.
I remember this. I said
I
that. They are, though, like pay to win in a sense of you can buy, like, you can put so much time in Unite and get like 5. And then if you do the like purple thing, which is $2 or $4 or however much gem to whatever, it's 200 gems, which is like, I actually think it's like closer to $4. You can earn those emblems faster.
Yeah, it's still random which ones you get. Like,
yeah,
it's harder to say that it's pay to win through that than it was through the items that you could literally pay money to increase.
Yes, I will say that it's like I have always agreed that like Unite's not really pay to win compared to something like a Clash Royale.
Oh yeah.
Because like you could pay as much money as you want in Unite for held items and for emblems, but if one of your players decides to sit in the base the entire 10 minutes, it doesn't matter how much money you've spent.
Correct.
You're going to lose.
One person can shank that game real good.
And yeah, you can like report them. So like, did I feel like a more powerful player by putting on emblems? Yes. But that still doesn't change the overall teamwork needed in Unite, which I think is like that fine line of like pay to win or not pay to win, because like I could get more emblems, but if I still think back of situations that like, oh, I lost that, I don't think winning that would have changed the outcome of the match, because it was more of team positioning and goals than it was like, oh, if I was like slightly stronger, we wouldn't have lost. It's like, no, I would have won that little interaction, but I don't think that would have like changed the tide of the outcome of the match.
I think emblems overall are good for the game. I think they give a level of control to your play style. I think it gives you some customizing options. I think they're kind of fun. They're releasing a new slate apparently, like more are coming. So, like I expect them to expand out the emblems, and I think it is good for people who play the game a lot. It is an interesting aspect that as a new player, like teamwork and knowing, like, okay, do you want to hear the thing that made me so mad last night?
Yes, we played together.
This is after. This is me.
Okay.
This is 1 a.m. There is a player who is playing with Champ, whose username was Rotate to Dread. Okay. Guess what they didn't do? Take a guess to what they did not do that entire game.
Before you tell me what they did or did not do, I played with them at Champ, Season 1, and their name, I played with them multiple times. They were just a random person that would get queued up. They were a Machamp player. Their name was I Stole Zapdos. And I would say every time I played the game, they did exactly what their name stated.
See, this is what I needed from Rotate to Dread. I had to walk away. I was so mad. I'm like, finally, one person I can count on to Rotate to Dread, not once.
Look, I have not played League of Legends. I have not played Dota 2. I have not played Heroes of the Storm. I have not played Smite. I'm trying to think of the big MOBAs. But when Greg and I played last night, we were in a group of 3, meaning we would get paired with either 2 solo people or a duo. And I think squads of 2 and 3 are the best for Unite, because if you squad with 5, you're going to get paired against 5, and you can't squad with 4.
Yeah.
You can only do...
Which is so weird.
Probably for the best, I don't know. So what I noticed is a lot of duos will want to claim the top lane. And when I duo, mostly because I play Cramorant, they recommend Cramorant for the top, but like I will want to take top because then I know that at least 50% of the top lane is going to rotate to Dread. Yep. So I think Greg and I played like 5 matches. And of the 4 out of 5 matches, we got duos that both claimed the top lane. They were all different duos. And none of them rotated to Dread, which is like, for a game that's been out for a year, and for like 2 people to be like, I want this lane, I just don't understand.
I don't get it.
I
don't get people who argue that Rotom is more important. The thing that makes me frustrated about it is Rotom can be stopped. Rotom is to distract the other team to make them think they have to stop this from scoring because it only scores 2. And Rotom is only important if you have a bunch of people lined up behind it who can make big dunks. But if you go rotate to Dread, you kill your team gets Dread, you get such a huge experience boost that it doesn't care if Rotom scores because you can overlevel and overpower the other people who are coming behind to score. Like, it makes no, and I've heard so many people like, oh, well, Rotom is more important because it does points. It's like, Rotom is the distraction. Rotom is there to get you to do other things so that the other team is free to steal your jungle because you're trying to stop this thing from scoring. It can be stopped. It is so unimportant in the layers of the game until end game, because what you kind of want to do is be the last people to get Rotom to send it down, so they have to decide, are we going to give an open thing or are we going to try to take Zap?
And 100% of the time it's take Zap. It's
take Zap.
Literally
it's
a
always
distraction.
Take Zap. It's just a
because
distraction.
If you take Zap, it doesn't matter what those 20 points are.
Right. It infuriates.
But what I don't get is those people are so adamant about taking Rotom that I don't. One, how many matches are you winning? 2, like if you think about the situation somewhat logically, which maybe no one is doing, like if you think that you are the strongest player on your team, if you think you are the best player on your team, which I never think I am. Like I'm always
support
like,
people.
Yeah, but if you are that person that thinks you are the better player on the team, then wouldn't ideally you want to take Dread, because Dread gives a boost to everyone, so you can be like, this picks up the slack.
Yeah.
And it's the same people who go to, in my opinion, from my experience, I played a lot of matches, maybe not as much as some hardcore Unite players. But the people who also focus on Rotom, I see they never go to Audino. And if you were to ever watch my Twitch stream, I'll pan. I'll be like, these Audinos are still up. These Audinos are still up. These Audinos. Like, as soon as Audino is, like, I don't think they also understand the mechanics of why Audino spawns. Yeah. Audino spawns as your comeback mechanic.
Yeah.
They only spawn when you lose that base. And it's okay to lose that top or bottom first base, because Audino gives you so much more experience than the Combies or the Corphish. Like as soon as Audino spawns, you should be taking it, given that there's not another objective. And as soon as you take it, they will then spawn again. It is literally the comeback mechanic to get you to level appropriately. So like the whole, like, is there some value in Rotom? Yeah, sure. But again, if you're a player that thinks like you're the best player, giving everyone on your team experience lets you like ensure that your plays matter, because then it's picking up everyone's slack. I also don't understand, like, do the people that like strongly believe in Rotom, have they never just like looked at a YouTube video or looked at a Twitch stream or like looked at any guide to there's not a single top performer in Unite that will argue that Rotom is better. There's not, we are going into the World Championships this weekend. There's not a single one of those people on stage that will tell you that Rotom is better.
Are you sure not a single one of them might
maybe one,
lie?
The thing that I like, And people are like, well, I don't want to leave one person up there because they're gonna score. A little. They can't take Rotom by themselves before everybody else comes up.
Yeah, you can leave one person up there. But even if you left one person up there to like defend against two, then it's 4 versus 3 at the bottom.
But if all 5 of you go down and there's 4 on their team, you have the advantage. Leave the one person up there. It's fine. It's just I don't get it. I don't.
With that being said, Emblems doesn't change any of that.
Emblems doesn't change any of it. Emblems is a deep emblem. I feel like Emblems is the EVs of Unite.
Yes.
You can.
And the other thing that I've noticed with Emblems is no one understands how they work.
No.
Like Unite itself did such a poor
job. Does not explain at all.
So the quick explanation I can give is that you probably want to focus on 2 colors. And if you're not sure what colors to focus on, like the probably the best color that applies to everyone is black. And then if you're
the top are black, white, green, and red. That's it.
So ideally pick 2 colors and slot in emblems that will get you those 2 colors. So for black, it is 3. I think it's 3, 5, and 7.
3, 5,
so
and
ideally,
7.
You want 7 emblems that give you black. You want either 3 or 5. If you have 4 and you can't get it to 5, 3 is okay. 4 does not give you any. 3,
No.
5, 7. The same for, I think blue is 2, 4, 6. So again, 2 gives you a small boost. 4 gives you a medium boost. 6 gives you a large boost. 5 gives you just the same boost that 4 does.
Yeah.
Right? You want to fill in those circles. Once you get the 2 or 3 colors you want, or maybe just 1 color because you don't have enough emblems, then you start tweaking those emblems for your attack, your special attack, your crit, your HP. So, for example, you could want a more HP-focused build. So you might switch out Zubat gives attack, but Golbat gives HP. They're both black. I'm going to switch out Zubat for Golbat. Tentacruel gives special attack and is black and blue, but Victory Bell gives physical attack, and that's black and green. I'm going to switch out Victory Bell for...
green special attack. Green
the
special
colors
attack.
are way more important than the numbers you see.
Right.
And that's the best I can give in an audio podcast of worry about the colors first, and then worry about the number stuff.
Get your color
second.
blocks done, and then fine tune from there.
And it's okay that the numbers might not seem super great off the bat. Those colors have so much weight compared to the numbers you're looking at. Just worry about the worry about filling in those colors.
And also pay attention to if you're a special attacker, if you're a melee attacker, those things matter in your decision making, but not as much as what big block of color am I going to use.
I do think the benefit, the not talked about benefit of emblems is because you can customize your playstyle a little bit more with them. It lets you change the held items more. So, for example, I cannot stand Lucario players, but a lot of Lucario players run attack weight, and so they probably want to heavily invest in speed so they can get to where they want to dunk. But there could be Lucario players that don't care about attack weight, and so they might just invest in attack instead. So it took. I played Shell Bell a lot with Cramorant all season 1, and then Shell Bell kind of got nerfed, and then people started moving to Focus Band Cramorant, and now with the changes with emblems, I could run Shell Bell again, even though it was nerfed, but it feels good again to use.
I'm contemplating getting rid of Experienced Share to bring back Shell Bell for my Eldegoss. I'm thinking about it. Because the thing is, we are still trying to figure out what movement speed actually does. And when it kicks in and when it kills, because movement speed doesn't apply when you're in combat. So it's a little question. It's like, okay, so when does movement speed really kick in? How long does it last? What is the improvement really giving you? Because attack, I used to use it a lot. I mean, I use Experience Share quite a bit because it's also a big HP boost, but I'm contemplating swapping it out to see how it feels, because I don't feel that movement speed is really helping me anymore. Because I feel like I'm constantly now, even as support, having to be in combat. And that is not, movement speed doesn't do anything at that point.
Yeah. The main complaint is like, you have to play a lot to get emblems.
Yep.
And if you're, I would maybe argue, if you're not having a good time playing to unlock emblems, I don't think emblems are going to dramatically change your
They're
experience.
not. They aren't a big enough change. They're not.
For me, it was just a little bit frustrating because like I have perfected my Cramorant build, but I could change out one emblem for a different emblem. I think it's Slowbro, and it's just pulling the gotcha machine and being like, this isn't Slowbro, this isn't Slowbro, this isn't Slowbro, and like, it's frustrating because it's like, I know how to make my build better, and there's 90 emblems, and I'm not getting the one I need.
There's no way they're not introducing more in September, right?
Oh,
like, there's
yeah,
no
sure.
way.
There's no way they're stopping at Dugong.
Right.
Like, we ran out of ideas up in Dugong. Look.
What else can we do? Like, there's going to be at least 151 by the end of the year.
Man, if only they made more Pokemon after Dugong, we could maybe...
But they didn't. Oh, well.
Greg is here, and you're probably like, oh, I want to hear Greg's thoughts on Scarlet and Violet. We did that. That bonus episode is available to Patreon subscribers, and it's available on Apple Podcasts to the subscribers there. If you want to listen to it for free, Apple Podcasts offers a 2-week free trial for bonus episodes, so you can listen to the episode with Greg or any of the old episodes as well. Also, both Patreon subscribers and Apple Podcast subscribers get ad-free versions of the show every week. So your $5 a month gets you bonus episodes and ad-free versions of all the episodes. So if you want to listen to that, obviously, like, we're not restricting Scarlet and Violet stuff to bonus episodes. It's just
was in Gen Con.
Yeah, Greg was at Gen Con. We did a 2-hour show with Will and Pengu and gave you an extra hour this week. And there wasn't really any extra Scarlet and Violet stuff at all. I think anything we missed in the first podcast, Greg and I covered in the second. So
I believe so, yes.
I have theories. I have theories.
Somebody's listening right now being like, I want to hear Greg's thoughts. Like, we did it.
We did it. I'm there. I'm out. Look, last week was a very light podcast week for me because both of my main shows I wasn't in. But I didn't leave people alone. I guest starred on a podcast. So just look for my stuff.
I think we're wrapping up with news here. Cigna suits Steven and Deoxys in Pokemon Masters EX. Why they always do Steven right before something
they
good.
Do.
They love using Steven as the bait.
Story-wise, well, no, the real bait is they're bringing back Archie and Maxie. They even call it bait. They call it the run up to the 3rd anniversary. They're even telling you bigger and better things are coming, and you're gonna pull on Archie.
That finally explains that meme, because the meme did not say Pokemon Masters. It just said Pokemon Players, and I was like, what?
Yeah. I mean, I tried to pull Looker. I didn't get Looker. I tried to pull Steven Deoxys. I didn't get Deoxys. I may try one pull to finally get Archie. But have you done the Looker battle in Masters?
No. I just log in. I just get my gems. I'm waiting for this anniversary.
The looker battle is the hardest thing I have ever done in that game, and I haven't even done part 2.
That's
took
weird.
me hours to figure out a good way to do the looker battle.
Looker has never had a Pokemon in any of the games, has he?
Not that you battle.
Not that you battle. I think he's always had Krogunk.
Yes. Krogunk is his partner, but I don't think I've ever seen him fight with it.
But yeah, you fight in Masters, and you are in for a world of hurt.
This was sent in by Kevin/Buskoy in our Slack. KFC China is running a Pokemon toy promotion for Children's Day, where a meal comes with a Pikachu or a Psyduck toy. The Psyduck toy has gone viral on social media given its dancing capabilities and is listing for up to $200 at the moment. There's your.
Did you watch the video of that?
Yeah, it is really cute.
I'm like, do I hunt this down because it is so cute? But
it is really cute.
No.
To piggyback off that news, I believe Pokemon stuff is coming back to McDonald's. I think it's already in McDonald's Canada right now. Pokemon stuff has always done really well at McDonald's, given any of the time frames it has appeared. The last time it appeared, Pokemon card and card scalpers were at an all-time high. And that McDonald's Pikachu was going for about $80 resale value. That same Pikachu is going for about $15 right now, current day as of this podcast. While I do still think that it might be difficult in some areas to get these cards, it should be night and day difference compared to the last time there was a McDonald's promotion. So there are still cards, and I believe there are toys, but I did not see a listing of the toys. I'm sure probably by next week or the week after we'll have more details on that. But yeah, a McDonald's Pokemon stuff. Oh, and then somebody on Reddit, they're out of all the stores to sell this early, Kohl's department store had the booster packs. They put them out on shelf early. I don't think they're supposed to go on sale until September 1st. But Kohl's, I don't know, maybe they had Kohl's Cash,
Kohl's plays by their own rules. They have their own currency. They have everything.
there's gonna be a society one day that's just all operated by Kohl's, and the only currency that they use is Kohl's Cash.
Kohl's Cash.
My mom lives off Kohl's Cash, and I'm like, it's a scam, right?
No, it's not. It's more valuable than the dollar. What's the Kohl's Cash to the USD conversion rate right now? I bet you the dollar is weaker.
I'm going to buy flannel shirts. I'm going to buy flannel shirts at Kohl's. I might as well turn that Kohl's Cash right back around to buy more flannel shirts.
Anyways, they had the booster packs that somebody got at Kohl's early. They opened up all the cards. They posted on Reddit. It is a set. It is also like spooky Pokemon. It's like Phantom, Pumpkaboo, Esper, Hatterene, Grimmsnarl. I don't think any of the cards in that set looked incredibly rare. They just look like fun Halloween cards. So hopefully now that the set list is out there, scalpers aren't going and buying a bunch of these with the thoughts that there's no Charizard in the set. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying there is no Charizard. There is no reason that you would buy the set without your own personal enjoyment or the enjoyment of giving them to trick-or-treaters who come to your door. I don't think you buying these with the expectation of maybe there's something secretly rare that you could resell. We know that that's not the case anymore. So it's like 30 ghost slash the real crime is there's no Zubat in the set. That's the real crime. Zubat, a very spooky, very Halloween Pokemon. That's the real devastation there. So I think I'm gonna buy it if I can find the booster packs. I'm gonna buy it probably just for myself, just to keep a couple, put them next to my ancient
right
Mew.
across the river, right next to the Walmart.
There's a lot of Kohl's. They will be at Target too. Like, let's be real.
And I might buy an extra set. Oh well, I don't think they listed the price. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I suppose
the bundle will cost $14.99.
Oh, for 30 booster packs?
That is what PokeBeach is saying. They're 3-card booster packs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you bought 30 booster packs at the Dollar Tree, that's going to be $30.
Well, there's 40 booster packs.
40 for 15?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
It pays for itself at that point.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I don't know. Like, the thing is, when I did trick-or-treating once, as in, like, giving out candy to kids. And I felt like I ran out pretty quickly. But also, I felt like I didn't have that many kids, like, visit.
That's portion control in Europe.
I know.
But you were giving out, like, handfuls. You get one. You get one.
One Smartie. No more. One M&M out of this packet of M&Ms.
What? No. Number one, don't give out Smarties at Halloween. Nobody wants them.
I want them.
Smarties are
buy them yourself. Smarties are fine. They are not a Halloween candy. Mini Snickers are a Halloween candy. Mini bars are a Halloween candy. What are those caramel
candy
ones?
Corn?
Candy corn. I love candy corn.
We're heading into danger. Candy corn is not. I mean, yes, it is. You consume it around Halloween time. You do not pass it out to trick or treaters. They do not want it.
Do you ever have
No. What?
If you want to win Halloween, you go to Costco and buy the full size packs that are less expensive at Costco, and then you win because everybody's like, that is the greatest house ever. Don't hurt them. Don't throw toilet paper at them. Don't smash their pumpkins. Leave them alone because they are full. That's a full-size house.
Okay, so did you what's like the weirdest trick-or-treat thing you guys have ever gotten or seen, like maybe like nieces or nephews? I've gotten a toothbrush before.
I mean,
I lived in a neighborhood with like dentists.
As a kid, I had a dentist in my neighborhood, so we got toothbrush and toothpaste every year. And that sort of smug look when you went to the house and you're like, well, I'm not going to not go.
No, I mean, I didn't mind that. I think that's like a pretty good, like, I would rather take a brand new toothbrush than like candy corn. I ain't going to eat the candy corn.
I don't know what arsenic he's laced in that toothpaste on that toothbrush. There's razor blades and apples, and there's arsenic on toothpaste. None of it's to be trusted. It's not in a sealed package from a company.
I've gotten an apple before trick or treating. I've gotten the whole, like, here's a whole apple in your bag. I've gotten that before.
My next door neighbor used to make popcorn balls, which I loved. Okay.
I've gotten like pennies.
Also laced with cyanide.
Have you gotten like pennies from like the old lady? I've gotten that before. No?
Well, they used to make us do the UNICEF thing, and I would always just never do it. Like, I'm already asking you for food. I'm not asking you for money on top of asking you for food. This is already embarrassing enough. None of us like this transaction the way it is.
I would say, along the lines of my fundamental rule, which I was trying to express before, is don't give out candy at Halloween that somebody wouldn't purchase at any other time of the year.
I did have one older couple in my neighborhood. They gave out those Werther Originals, which my parents loved. I would not touch with a 10-foot pole.
So, like, Necco wafers. Necco wafers are a punishment disguised as a candy.
Yeah, they are. Oh, bad.
So you're saying you would rather take the toothbrush?
Yes.
I would rather take the arsenic toothbrush than a Necco wafer any day.
Okay. And I will tell you the absolute worst thing that you can give out on Halloween. The McDonald's coupon books.
Oh, that was an affront to nature.
No kid is driving themselves
to man,
McDonald's
that always made me mad.
Those coupons.
I would love this.
No, that infuriated me.
You would love it at your current age. When you're 7 and you can't get yourself to McDonald's, they're worthless.
They're worthless.
Okay, what do you mean by coupon book? Are you like, because first off, coupon book, I haven't thought about one of those since I was like 14. But I'm thinking like
Gen Con. I know you've thought about them since you were 14.
Yeah, I guess Gen Con's book has coupons in it.
It's a coupon book.
But I'm thinking like the check size coupon book that you would get at like the school for like $35 with like $200 worth of savings. Is that what they're giving out?
Yeah, they give those out for McDonald's.
Well,
so
mini versions of those. Yes.
Yeah. And it was hot garbage in my bag. Hot garbage. Because not only are you not giving me food, which is the entire point why I'm there, you're giving me a coupon to get food somewhere else for money I don't have as a child.
Well, but it's worse than that, right? Because as a child, I'm not going to go on my own to use the coupon, and if my parent were to take me, I am never going to remember to bring that stupid coupon book.
It's true.
Waste of money.
It's an insult to Halloween is what that is.
Yeah, it was very rare that I got the full candy bar. But the full candy bar was very memorable.
That's because Big Halloween has deceived people into thinking that the mini candy bars are better.
They're not. They're worse.
But I was the kid, and I still am this person, where like I don't want the like I made this kind of thing. I want the like sealed in package. I want that. I appreciate that you put effort into making like a bag of popcorn. I don't trust that. I don't trust your packaging.
I got another rule.
You would trust unregulated candy over your sweet next door neighbor lady who is bleeding from her fingers from all the work she made making that sweet treat.
This is the year that she finally lost it and has decided to destroy all the kids in the neighborhood who keep tossing their balls over her fence. Here, another Will Anderson rule of Halloween. If you are so cheap that you're going to buy a bag of Hershey's Kisses and give each kid one Hershey's Kiss,
or like
you're going to buy a thing of Andy's candies and give each kid one, just don't bother.
Yeah, don't bother. Turn your lights off.
Exactly.
Get out. First of all, Hershey Kisses are the cheapest, worst chocolate, and you're only giving one. Like, just admit you hate everybody and your life is miserable.
But to be like, it's expensive now to give kids be a house that participates in Halloween. Feels expensive.
All in or all out. That's in between garbage. You are just a target at that point. Be honest. We turn our lights off, we close all the blinds, we hide in the back, and we hiss at the children that walk through our neighborhood, never looking at them in the eye.
Rule number 3. And let me see if I can express this the right way. If you as a parent are not willing to drive your kid to Edina, Lake Harriet, Lindale, I think is the name of the place, right? Where the rich people and the rich houses are spending money on candy, your kids deserve what they get.
Yep.
The cheap garbage candy.
But do you think that's like bad because now you're taking more kids into a neighborhood they don't belong?
It's called aspirational living.
They've got candy factories in their basements. They are not impinging on their lifestyle.
Jeff Bezos can really afford to give kids candy bars. He can give every kid in America a candy factory and not even bat an eye.
Not even see a dent in his income.
Yeah, I feel like Halloween has definitely become a luxury for houses because I'm thinking like, oh, I want to give out the booster packs, and so again, I have no clue how many kids or what to expect in my neighborhood because I wasn't here. I literally moved here the day after Halloween. So if I spend, $45, that's 120 packs. Is that too much? Is that too
is
little?
Probably too many.
Yeah.
You think it's too many?
Yes.
It's hard to. I don't know the kid makeup in your neighborhood. Here's the thing: if you are a person with no children, this is just a loss for you. It's not even an exchange of goods.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Halloween is just for other families with kids because at that point you're just swapping food. It's like a potluck.
It's like the exchange at Christmas where everyone gets each other a $20 gift card, but really nothing happened.
Well, yeah. If you are a childless couple, Halloween is a lose-lose for you.
It's just like property taxes paying for public education. I ain't getting nothing out of that.
I get nothing out of this, except for a place for kids to go. So what you do as an adult with no children is you close everything down and you go to the gay bars because it's gay Christmas.
Yeah.
And you'll have the best time of your life because the gays know how to do Halloween, and you'll have plenty of tricks and treats at the bar that meet your needs.
But I see what you're saying. Like, you send your kids out, they get like $50, $60 worth of candy. You gave out like $50 worth of candy. It's a wash.
It's a wash.
I see. Speaking of a wash, question of the week.
Have to believe in the question of the week.
A sweet angel has been taken from us.
I'm so sad.
Also, Chris sent in the BBC Billionaire Boy.
Billionaire Boys Club. Say it out loud. Say the whole thing.
This is from Franco from our Slack. What makes a Pokemon town good/memorable, and which one is your favorite?
I mean, my favorite's always the same. I want to live and exist in Sutopolis.
We do answer this question like once every 6 months.
And what makes a town memorable is either it has a unique feature. It's the same as in the real world. It has a unique feature, it has a cool gym, or it has exciting things to do. If your town has none of those, you live in a bad town.
Yeah.
Sutopolis has Wallace, then Juan, and a hidden cavern with a legendary at the bottom. It's got everything. And it's isolated, so people really have to work to get there. Exclusivity is my jam.
I'm a big fan of Castelia. It's central. It's got proximity to everything.
It's got cones.
Amusement park. It does have cones. Has you can take an evening cruise and have Pokemon battles on the evening cruise to see the sunset and the many beautiful bridges of Unova.
Mine has not changed. It's still Goldenrod. I love the radio tower. They got a port. They got a train station. They got a good main road that goes straight up, and then everything's off to the sides. It's very, very easy to navigate. Don't give me that hot mess that is Lumiose City. That's
Castelia's got a sewer system. You can go down.
Yeah, but the camera ruined that.
It's just a circle. Here, what you're saying is you prefer the grid of Minneapolis over to the chaos that is St. Paul.
Yes.
How is St. Paul chaotic?
Let me tell you about those on ramps and off ramps.
Oh dear.
Let's talk about the fact that when St. Paul was built, not only did they just build roads, however, they let whoever was building the road name the road, which is why there's no naming convention that makes sense in St. Paul for their streets. It's the Wild West over there.
This is from Scott from our YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff that helps out YouTube as we lead up to Scarlet and Violet. And if you're not watching on YouTube, thanks for listening to the audio version. Scott says, a question from me. Do you think the catching mechanic we had in Arceus will make a return for Scarlet and Violet? I haven't seen any evidence, so it's so far in the trailers, a bit worried that we'll go back to battling and catching every single Pokemon. I really enjoyed catching Pokemon in Arceus without the battle, though hoping I just missed it in the news/trailer.
Well, you didn't miss it.
They haven't said officially,
Exactly.
right?
No, they have not identified how it's going to be. I believe it will be like Arceus.
I think there will be. I think that we'll have options for it. Yeah. Here's my fear, though.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like it's going to be a multiplayer only option.
Oh, sneaking to us is multiplayer only? Nah, I don't think so.
Or
I think
it's a non-multiplayer option.
Yes, the non-multiplayer. Ever since they did the thing they did in Sword and Shield, which is show that first trailer, and I remember this first trailer so much because literally the next day I left for Japan. They showed that first trailer, and they purposely did not show Pokemon walking around in the overworld. They held on to that, and they showed the old style, which is exclamation point in the grass, trainer walk in, and then the two Pokemon look at each other. And I believe they're doing the same thing here. They are purposely not showing certain stuff because I don't know if they learned anything from the Sword and Shield release cycle. They're like holding on to things a lot closer this time. But yeah, I think it would return. I do think there's going to be some limits to it, and I do think that like once you go into that multiplayer mode, that they're going to either chop off features that are only limited to a single player experience, and that was like very somebody said gosh, I can't remember what game it was. It's like Xenoblade or something where like you weren't allowed to do no, Genshin. It was Genshin Impact, because in Genshin you can join other people, and they said if somebody joined you in Genshin Impact, you weren't allowed to do any of the story missions. You could do everything else, but main story missions were locked when people joined you. And then I also think about Animal Crossing.
Yep.
When somebody like flew to your island, which took about like 14 weeks for that internet connection to like solidify, and then like one person would fly over, and then they like get disconnected after 40 seconds, and then you'd have to wait for another 14 weeks for them to like properly disconnect from your Switch. It was like the most worst. Anyways, when somebody actually arrived to your island, certain things would be restricted. Like, you couldn't move a bridge, you couldn't talk to Tom Nook, you couldn't like move like one table in your house like 3 centimeters over because somebody was like also. So I do strongly believe that like, even though we are getting this multiplayer experience, we're going to get probably some really annoying restrictions with that.
Yep.
But I don't think I think the catching mechanic's coming back. There's no way. And I think they're going to do both, where if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, it's there. If you want to do it the new way, it's there. Like Legends to me just felt very much like a Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, of like, we're using this game to test a mechanic that we are putting in a future main series, whatever, like big number. No, I should say a numbered game, because that's what they are at this point. Like Gen 8 is Gen 8, this is Gen 9. And Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee was very much like, how do you think people would feel if Pokemon were just walking around and our PC was anywhere? And people were like, we like this. And they're like, good, because we were testing that for Gen 8. And Legends was very much like, how do you think people would feel if we just, changed the catching and you could just kind of walk everywhere? Good, because we're testing that for Gen 9.
Yep.
I think they've really kind of figured it out over there. As much as people say Game Freak's incompetent, I don't know. They got a well-oiled machine working.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing. Whether we like it or not, they know what they're doing.
Yep. Hey, since everything went online, like they're collecting your data and learning and running reports.
Yeah. Was there any other questions that we could quickly do? No. A lot of good comments this week, though. A lot of good discussion about like difficulty or whether gyms should scale or not scale, mechanics. Anyways, Will, Pokemon of the week.
All right, so last week's Pokemon, very simple. No one knows yet if it will evolve, but I suspect this Pokemon will evolve into a Pokemon called Beagle, spelled Beagel. But Steve, you had a better interpretation?
I did. Doberman.
Doberman.
No, I'm out on all of
it. Did you hear that from somebody?
I went through Twitter and I pulled the best ones, but yeah, Doberman was like one of my favorite ones. What was the other one? Bread. Was it? I'll look them up. You can continue your.
Well, I mean that's it. So Greg's got to guess.
It's
Yamper.
Oh, Yamper. Oh, it's Fido.
Fido. That is correct. We've got to think of all the baked good.
All right, these were the 4 best because I scoured the internet for the 4 best. This is why I think the 4 best.
It's just people who replied to you, correct?
No, I was like looking at like retweets and stuff, and so I got purebred.
No, that is a style, not a dog.
I got Doberman.
I like that a lot.
Bark lava.
No, too convoluted.
Yeah, it really only applies to like Europeans.
Also, baklava is a dessert. It's not.
Yeah. And then breadigree.
Yeah.
I think Doberman is really good though.
I don't know enough about like Spanish baked goods.
I think the bark lava. How did you said it very fancy?
Baklava.
Baklava.
Baklava is
it's
the
baklava is the dessert.
That's Greek.
Oh, it's Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when somebody first said that and everyone freaked out about it, I was like, I don't get the joke. I mean,
it's like Mediterranean, I think is the right way, but I don't think baklava is Spanish.
Got it.
All right. Well, there's no shiny, there's no shuffle, there's
nothing yet. It's super cute. I want to know if one of the Terratypes is everything. Because I want an everything Fido, a little bagel with all the seeds.
See, but then it has to evolve into Beagle. Yeah. So you get everything type Beagle. All right. What if it evolves into a pizza? Man, that would be really disappointing.
I'm into that.
No. All right, this week's Pokemon. This Pokemon, one of my favorites, can exist in 6 possible varieties. Originally, only 3 of those varieties could be caught with a Pokeball. In Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, 4 of those varieties could be caught with a Pokeball. One of the varieties can be seen while playing the game but has never been able to be caught, evolved, or received through distribution.
I think I know what it is.
Oh, it's so easy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what it is. I'm actually confident this week.
All right, so I get to say the bad one. Well, we're not here.
Oh, Greg, you'll figure it out.
I'm not here next week.
You'll figure out what I posted in Slack.
All right, well, you have to text me, and I will say this is from Steve. Okay. I'll give you credit.
Okay.
And when you're wrong, we will mock you. Mercilessly.
I expect no less. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it to the end. Like I said earlier, if you're going to be in London this upcoming weekend, I will be there. So feel free to say hi. If there's other Pokemon, I don't know. I'll try to be playing Pokemon GO and the Pokemon Center and whatever other things are happening. We'll see what 3 years of not having a world tournament looks like now. So find that out.
Pure chaos.
Yep.
Also, if there's any like restaurants or places I should go in London that maybe doesn't involve the trains because the trains might be down that weekend.
You got to get a curry. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Everybody in England eats the curry.
And get something with a brown sauce.
Got it. Do I put a big leak in my curry like Sword and Shield has insinuated?
Oh, and you got to wear a zippy to a chippy.
Yep, absolutely.
That's only in Scotland. I don't know.
Got it.
I think there's chippies everywhere now.
If there's a place I should eat or see, you can tweet at me at Dragging a Lake. You can find Will on Twitter at Wash in the Sink, Greg on Twitter at White Wing. If you want bonus episodes of the podcast, that's patreon.com/PKMNcast. Or if you're using Apple Podcasts, you can subscribe to the premium feed, which will give you bonus and ad-free episodes as well. Otherwise, you can find us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know, all that stuff. PKMNcast. And this, we'll see you guys next week. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super. Do you think if we have a Tropius and a Fido in the same party, you can make a third Pokemon that's based off of banana bread?
Yes.